10% yield, 40% yield, 60% yield, monthly income. If that sounds too good to be true, I completely understand. I thought exactly the same when I first came across these products. But I hold 5 of them in my ISA, and in this episode, I want to explain what they actually are, how they work, and why I hold a small position in each of them. Not to make you rich, not as a recommendation, just honestly. Here's what these things are, and here's why I've decided a small allocation makes sense for me. Now, these are complex instruments. I want to be upfront about that, but the basic idea behind them is actually very simple, and I'm going to explain it using something everyone understands: property. Let's start with covered calls. 3 of my 5 ETPs use this strategy. We have FEPI, QYLP, and XYLP. Now imagine you own a house worth £100,000. You don't want to sell it, but someone comes to you and says, I'll pay you £5,000 today for the right to buy your house at £105,000 anytime in the next 3 months. You think about it, you say yes, you take the £5,000, that money is yours to keep, no matter what happens next. Now, 2 things can happen. The house price could shoot up to £120,000. They exercise the option, they buy your house at £105,000, the price you agreed. They've made a profit, but you've missed out on that extra gain above 105. You still got the 105 though, that's yours. Or the house price stays flat, maybe it drops. They don't bother exercising the option, why would they? You keep the house and you keep the £5,000. Either way, you get the £5,000. That's the income, and that's what these ETPs distribute to you every month, the premium from selling that option. The trade-off is simple. You give up some of the upside in exchange for income now, every single month. Now, AVGI and NVDD work slightly different. These use put options. Same basic concept, someone pays a premium, but the direction is reversed. Same house, but this time, you don't own it. Someone else does. They come to you and say, I'll pay you £5,000 today if you agree to buy my house at £100,000 anytime in the next 3 months, even if the price drops. You take the £5,000, that's yours to keep. If the house price stays flat or goes up, they don't sell to you. Why would they? The option expires. You keep the £5,000 and nothing else happens. But if the house price crashes to £70,000, they exercise the option. You're forced to buy the house at £100,000, the price you agreed. You've paid £100,000 for something now worth 70. That's a £30,000 loss, minus the £5,000 you already collected, so you're down £25,000. That's the risk with put options. A big drop in the underlying share price forces the ETP to buy at a higher price than the market. That loss flows through the NAV. The value of your investment drops with it, which is exactly why I hold a very small position in AVGI and NVDD. Currently, it's £500, but slowly I plan to increase that to £1,000 in each. The income is real, but so is that downside. So here are the 5, all held in my ISA, all income focused, all with the capital risk that I'm aware of. Now, FEPI, this one runs covered call on a basket of large technology companies, the big names in US tech. The income generated from selling those options is distributed monthly. The yield is high because the tech stocks are volatile. More volatile stocks generate higher option premiums, currently generating around 20% monthly income. QYLP and XYLP, very similar idea, but tracking the Nasdaq 100 and the S&P 500 respectively. Covered calls on some of the most widely held indices in the world. Monthly income, the yield sits in the 20 to 30% range depending on market conditions. Now we have AVGI, which are put options on Broadcom alone, one of the most compelling AI semiconductor businesses on the planet. The native Broadcom dividend is essentially zero. It's a pure growth stock. An AVGI extracts 40 to 60% annualized income through the options premium. So that's why I have a small position, £500 building to 1,000. And then we have NVDD. Now this is exactly the same idea, but this time solely on Nvidia. 43% annualized yield, same small satellite allocation, and same eyes wide open approach. So right, here's where I need to be straight with you. I am not recommending these whatsoever. I want to be very clear about that. These are complex products. The yields look extraordinary because the risk is real. I could have this completely wrong. The capital could erode, things could go south, and I could end up significantly out of pocket. Capital growth isn't the point of my ISA. Income is. Tax-free income landing every month is the goal. And these ETPs contribute to that every single month without fail. But they are a small part of the portfolio, not a foundation. The foundation is conventional dividend stocks. PHP, Standard Life, Aviva, UK Wind, and British American Tobacco. Businesses with real assets, real cash flow, real dividend histories. The covered call ETPs sit alongside that as a satellite position, with my eyes firmly open. Now, if you are interested in these products, please do your own research. Read the key information documents, understand what you're buying before you put a single penny in. The mechanism I've described today is a simplified version. The reality is far more complex. And if it all goes wrong for me, I'm going to tell you. That's kind of the point of this channel. So has anybody else looked at covered call ETPs, and what's your take on them? Are they a legitimate income tool or a yield trap? Drop it in the comments. I'd be interested to hear. Now, if you are investing in an ISA or a SIPP and you're not yet on Interactive Investor, the link is in the description. It's the platform I use for both, and you'll get a free year if you follow the link and satisfy the T's and C's. Now, this isn't financial advice. Please do your own research, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye now.